will quickly rise into the middle 60s. After 3 p.m., they'll start to fall off. That'll be a cold front moving through. Winds will be out of the northwest up to 35 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we're only going to dip down into the middle 30s. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Brad Sugden on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion, where we fix computers, we recover data from crashed hard drives, and we build holiday specials. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program this morning. And, of course, if you ask a question or make a comment, we'll get you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good for anything your heart desires. We're also back live on Facebook this week, so feel free to join us at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where you can watch the show live for what it's worth, and of course, listen as well. So, real quick, I don't have Mark with me helping out this week, guys, so I'm flying solo with the Facebook thing. Please let me know if my levels on Facebook are good. Good morning, Roger. All right. We got a lot to do today. So, we've got a new botnet threat that is going to crash the internet at some point in the future. That's awesome, right? There's always North Korea, but then there's the botnet threat. Just saying. iPhone X release sold out. 6 weeks to get another one now if you want to buy one. There's some rumors going around that the iPhone X, the Apple actually had to lower its expectations of quality in the device in order to meet demand. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But when you hear what they did, when you say you have to compromise on the quality, right? I mean, if somebody says, I'm going to give you 100% pure gold, and then you have to settle for like 99.9999% pure gold. What a bummer. What a bummer. But it is what it is. Life's life. So we just have to keep on living, I suppose, with our 99.999% pure gold. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Also coming up on the program today, Samsung has a new patent out for a foldable phone. Yes, that's right. A foldable phone. Now, some people might argue that Motorola mastered the foldable phone back in the 90s, the flip phone. But no, this is a phone where the screen and the battery and everything folds. So I don't know why, would you want a foldable phone? I mean, I don't know. The candy bar design seems to be pretty solid. I suppose if I wanted to fold it, you put it up to your face, you have to unfold it and you pinch your face in it. I don't know how that would work, but there's a patent out for that as well. Now, earlier this week, I posted an article called After Windows 10 Creators Update, 7 Things You Should Do to Your Computer Right Now. It was an article from ZDNet that was posted to our Facebook page. And I guess I underestimated, people will read these articles and, literally enact every step of the article. I thought it was going to be one of those things where people are going to read it and say, oh, yeah, that's interesting, and then move on. But no, I actually had a lot of people comment back to me. I even had one customer email me because they were confused as to what they should do with the security settings on this. So we're going to cover that on the program today because a lot of you who had the Schrock Safe upgrade have now finished your Fall Creators Update. Some of you who didn't get the Schrock Safe upgrade got the Fall Creators Update automatically, and you were into the service center for other various after effects of that. We tried to warn you. Overall, guys, I have to tell you, I am super impressed with Schrock Interactive. The Fall Creators Update software that they produced was literally, as far as everything, calling it a crash development might be a little bit. You don't ever want to call it crash, but it was a pretty rapid development. We're talking couple 2-3 months to get that software from concept to finished, which in software is an incredible amount of time for something that 1,000 people are going to use. That's impressive. It worked unbelievably well. We did not have hardly any people report back any kind of, there was no massive issue. The biggest problem that we had with the software was that the O's, when we emailed you the license code, the O's and the zeros looked the same in the license code because of the font that a lot of the email used. So, yeah, next time you're not even going to need a license code. Like, I was talking to Adam, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a bummer about the license code stuff. And he says, well, Thor, I told you we shouldn't use license codes at all. I'm like, come on, like, you never said that. He goes, yeah, I totally said that. And you said, no, we need license codes. But I didn't say that. And, because we're all about the stupid magic simple. License codes they're stupid, but they're not simple. And they're certainly not magic. And he goes, no, we could have totally done it without a license code. Next time we're going to do it without a license code. So fun times there. As far as the issues that people reported after, most people who couldn't run the Safe Upgrade, it wasn't because there was anything wrong with their computer or anything wrong with the Safe Upgrade software. Most of the time, the issues with the upgrade were human issues. They were wetware issues. That's what they call it. You have hardware and you have software, and the thing in the middle is the wetware. That's the human that's operating everything. And so we had things like, people who didn't understand you had to download it and then run it. Or people who would put the code in, internet problems. This update was huge. It was like 3.2 gigabytes. So if you were downloading it, we had some people who couldn't seem to get the full download completed because their internet was glitching out, occasionally. So, we had little issues like that, but nothing that was catastrophic. Nothing that was like, oh my gosh. Instances in the service center of warranties were so much lower. Like right now, for example, I have open bench spots in all 3 of my service centers, which was not the case 1 week after the release of these previous updates before this one. So basically, Schrock Safe Upgrade was able to dramatically reduce the number of warranty claims. It was able to dramatically simplify the process for almost 1,000 people as far as getting this update installed in their computer. And you got to do it on your terms. You didn't get to wait for Microsoft to do it to you. You got to do it on your terms when you were ready for it. That's saying a lot. That's a huge deal. So congratulations to the Schrock Interactive team. Microsoft will be releasing these updates twice a year. So the next one will come in the spring. And the one thing that I didn't like about the Schrock Safe Upgrade software, man, that user interface, it looked like 1997 threw up on a web page and it came out on your screen. I didn't like the user interface. I approved the user interface, but I didn't like it. It was mostly because, we only had like a couple months to build this thing. And so user interface, it was functional. It did what it needed to do, but it wasn't, shiny, spiffy, pretty. Next one is going to be shiny, spiffy, pretty. But this one was functional. It was simple. It was very military grade, metal with safety straps that strapped you down to the hard metal, surface. Like the Apollo launch. If you ever go down to Orlando and you go to the NASA facility down there and take the tours, they have some of the moon capsules. Do you know that they sat those astronauts down on like metal chairs? Those like metal, the stairs on the back of the building, the fire escape stairs, the metal ones with the holes in them? That's what they laid on that. Okay, we're going to launch you into space. If you've ever like sat on one of those for a period of time, you know what that feels like. Imagine launching yourself into space on one of those things. I mean, good golly. That's kind of like what the Schrock Safe Upgrade interface was like. So next time we promise cushions, upholstery, little curtains, the whole enchilada. 866-496-8772. That's the number to join us on the program today. And also, scary tech. Scary tech that keeps us up at night in 2017. So we're going to tell you about some scary tech. Get you in the mood for the season right now. All right, let's jump into those phones since I didn't take a whole lot of calls last week. Kevin, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yeah, Thor, I've got a C drive on my computer that's filling up fast. And I was just wondering what files can be safely deleted to gain some space.
Gotcha. Great question. Now, as far as a rule of thumb, I usually don't have my customers willy-nilly moving through the C drive, just, right-click deleting things. Because that, as you can imagine, can get kind of dicey. The C drive is what stores your operating system, your Windows, and if you delete the wrong things, you can end up in a world of hurt. So the first thing that I would do, the quick fix, is the Windows disk cleanup is great, but it's not very effective. There's another application called CCleaner, the letter C in the word cleaner, CCleaner. You can run that on your computer, and it will go through and scrub a whole bunch of stuff out. So any kind of temporary files, installation logs, stuff that you truly do not need, that you will never miss, that's the stuff that CCleaner gets rid of. Once you've run CCleaner, you can make a judgment then. If you've got enough space, great. If you don't have enough space at that point, the next step forward is to go through and start looking at what apps and programs you can uninstall from the computer. Most computers, like HP's, Dell's, things like that, come with a pretty good amount of bloatware installed, pre-installed software that you can uninstall. For example, like if you ever had an HP printer and then you decided to get an Epson printer, a lot of people forget to uninstall all the HP printer software that was installed when they installed that HP printer, and it just kind of sits there. It's not hurting anything, but it is taking up space. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people get confused about space. Freeing up space on your hard drive will not speed up your computer, unless, of course, your hard drive is like absolutely 100% full, and most hard drives aren't. So freeing up a few files doesn't make the filing cabinet move any faster. The drawer's still open and closed. The files are still the files. The tabs are still the tabs. They're still in alphabetical order. Doesn't speed anything up. However, with that said, Kevin, we have seen, if you're at the point where you've cleaned everything up and you still don't have enough space, one of the things that we've been seeing in the service center that customers have been thrilled with is, a lot of people don't know this, but we can actually replace the hard drive that's in your computer now with a solid-state hard drive. So we can take out the mechanical hard drive that you have and replace it with a solid state. Move all your stuff from the mechanical drive onto the solid state. The same procedure we would do normally if your hard drive was failing, except it's a lot faster when the hard drive's not failing. But then the computer is literally like 15 times faster than it was before. So you get the speed, and then if you need more space, you could take that opportunity to buy a bigger drive as well.
I've had that done by you already.
Well, there you go.
My C drive now is in the red, and I just need to transfer things over to other drives, I guess.
Gotcha. So after we did the solid state upgrade for you, what was the computer like?
It was good. It worked just fine.
Awesome.
Was
it faster than it was before?
Yeah, well, it's a holiday special from several years back, so yeah, it was a little bit faster.
New life. All right, well, thank you for the call, Kevin. I've got you in the drawing as well for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. If you have trouble doing any of the things that I mentioned, Kevin, please feel free to give us a call in the service center, and we can go ahead and help you out over the phone there, too. We're open Saturdays from 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening, and Sundays from noon to 5.
Is that CCleaner a free program?
It is. It is a free program. It does have a little pop-up thing that always asks you if you want to buy it. So if you don't want to see that, you can uninstall it afterward. But it is a free program.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the call, Kevin. Appreciate it. 866-496-8772. Let's jump into Ed's call. Ed, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, I got one of them modular backup drives from you.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't like the setting, coming on at 7 at night to back it up, so I changed it to 3 in the morning. And everything's been fine, except for this morning I got an error that my hard drive's full. And so I got into them settings a little bit, and it said let Windows do something, and then below that, it said something about just to keep the current backup or something. So I did that, and I hope I didn't do nothing wrong.
No, you're fine. In fact, when your backup drive gets full, you can just wipe the whole thing out and then do another backup, because the Microsoft backup software keeps previous iterations of backups. So that way you can go back, one backup or two backups. But eventually the backup drive gets full, and it happens to me too. I wipe the backup drive, and then I immediately run another backup, and then I'm set up for like another 6 months. I don't have to worry about it again.
Okay, well, I didn't want to wipe. Well, I don't know how to wipe it out anyway. But if I wiped everything out, then if something screwed up, then I'd kind of do it. It's going right now. It's copying image or system image of C. It's taken a long time. It's going to take.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take some time. We're kind of losing you here on the call, Ed. Thank you for calling in. But yeah,
okay.
If your backup drive does fill up, you can actually just delete everything that's on it. You just highlight everything and then click delete on the keyboard, and it'll get rid of it. So it's pretty easy stuff. 866-496-8772, and that gets Ed in the drawing as well for the Schrock Innovations $25 gift certificate. All right, we're trying to save some time here in the broadcast to go over holiday special specs with you. The prototype units are going out to customers. We're going to be hearing from those customers next week. Next week, we are tentatively scheduling as a soft launch, so watch your email there, where we got the pictures taken. And so the catalogs are going to be printed here soon in the coming week, and then we'll see about getting everybody up and running on that. One little bit of administrative business, if you will. For those of you listening in our Lincoln market, Kathy, our front desk, who we love and adore, who has been with us for 9 years. You know, Schrock's been around for 18 years, and Kathy has been there for half of it. Okay? Kathy's moving on to another position. So it's going to be a tough time over there. We depend on Kathy for so many things. There are things that we depend on Kathy to do that we have forgotten that we depend on Kathy to do because we just don't have to think about it because she does it. So we do have it's a rare thing in the Lincoln Service Center, but we do have an open position there for what is effectively an administrative assistance position that can't be somebody who's afraid of technology. You don't have to be a computer tech. In fact, we prefer that you're not. Because that way, when the guys in the back start throwing the geek out front, the front desk can intercept that language and translate. Eventually, you will know quite a bit about tech because just from the daily exposure, you're going to learn more and more about it. And eventually, at some point, you might actually be doing maintenance checkups and things like that in the back or kind of pushing things along to make sure they get done appropriately. But if you are interested in possibly becoming a member of Schrock Innovations team in the Lincoln Service Center, as I said, this does not happen often. 9 years ago this happened. But you can always check us out. Just go on Indeed.com. You can search for Schrock there, and it'll pop right up for you. Or you can always email us or contact us from the service center there. You can email me directly, Thor, Thor, at SchrockInnovations.com. Include a copy of your resume there with it as well. All right, 866-496-8772 from Facebook. Ronald asks, how can I tell if my secure updater is working? All right, well, Ronald, in the bottom right-hand corner by your clock, the secure updater icon will either be black, red, or green. If it's black, you want to tell it to check for updates. That means its connection to the server isn't connected right now. That happens a lot on computers after they just start up or when you have laptops and you shut the lid and open them again. If it's red, that means there's an update that needs to install, but it couldn't install because a program is open that needs to be closed for it to install. Best way to solve that is just restart your computer. If it's green, that means everything is good to go. If you want to check for an update, you can, but everything should be good to go. Now, the Schrock Interactive team is also about to pump out a brand new client for Secure Updater. I know that there's been a lot of little glitchiness lately, and part of that is because we have been redesigning our server to accommodate the new Secure Updater while it's also accommodating the old client software. And that's resulted in a couple unintentional glitches that we've cleared up. I mean, everything's fine now. But if you've noticed, like, hey, I checked for updates and it said it couldn't connect to the server, that's kind of what's going on as we make some internal adjustments for things. But you will get this new client. We pushed it back a little bit because of Safe Upgrade. You know, we were ready to roll that out this fall, and then Safe Upgrade came along, and we said, let's do that right now, and then we can push this back a couple months. So we're hoping to have the new version of Secure Updater out before the end of the year, but we will certainly let you all know when it's available, and of course, you'll get it automatically if you're a Secure Updater subscriber. All right, got to take our first break of the program, 866-496-8772. That's the number to join us on the show, and of course, when we come back, it's the holiday special. Oh, yeah, baby. It's that time of year, and we're going to tell you all about what's coming up this holiday season at Schrock next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the the Data Recovery Lab. Starting at only $4.99, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute this pro tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from DriveAdvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Open drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys, welcome back into Compute This. I don't pick the bumper music. The bumper music picks me. 866-496-8772. Yeah, we're just not going to go there. All right, so holiday special time. All right, guys, so here's what's going on. We have the holiday special is coming here soon. We usually wait until later in November to have the actual radio launch. So what's going to happen first is, you're going to hear about the soft launch. You're going to get existing Schrock customers will get an email with a special invitation to shop early, so that you don't have to, deal with all the crowds and everything else of everybody else that's coming into the service center to look at it. This year's holiday special is going to be quite dramatic. There's a few wrinkles this year that make it a way different sale than previous years. This is a lot of new stuff this year, both hardware and procedurally. So if you've purchased one before, it's not going to be the same. So let's start off with the hardware. This year's holiday special laptop is a Dell. Usually we go with a Asus Republic of Gamers model, but this year actually we forged a new partnership with Dell that gave us some pretty important competitive advantages. One of the things that we liked about this one is, no matter how you feel about it, touchscreen laptops are what you're going to have in the future. A lot of people don't like the touchscreen laptops. They don't want the smudges on the screen and stuff like that. The thing is, you don't have to touch your screen. But if you've ever had a laptop or any kind of technology device that was not touchscreen and then had like a 5-year-old come over to your house, like your grandson, granddaughter or something, and go to use the device, and they start stabbing their little grubby little finger on the screen and it's not doing anything, and they hit it harder, like, come on, what's this piece of garbage? Everything in their life is touchscreen, and everything in your life will eventually be touchscreen. It was time for the holiday special to have a touchscreen. With that said, I have an Ultrabook that's a touchscreen. When I, or for example, my daughter from behind me, reaches up and grabs my screen from the backside to pull it down to say, "Daddy," her grubby little fingers do things on the screen. Things start opening and closing, and oh my gosh, my work, what had happened? You closed it. So I thought it was important. One of the things I love about this year's holiday special is, yes, it has a touchscreen, but it also has a bezel around the edge of the screen, which gives you a place to grab the screen that is not the screen itself, which, like my Ultrabook, you can't, everything is screen. It's infinity edge. So it goes all the way out to the edge, which it looks really, really cool, but it fingerprints like nobody's business. And I know we've asked in the past, would you rather have a touchscreen or would you rather not have a touchscreen? Well, given the cost is equal, given that it doesn't increase the weight of the laptop significantly, and there's a way to open and close it without getting fingerprints all over it, why not, right? Dell made all that happen this year for us. And this, when I say they made it happen for us, literally they approached us about the holiday special. They asked us, what can we do for you to pick a Dell this year? And they even sent me a free unit which no strings attached, right? I was like, wow, they're really hungry for it. So we picked like the most expensive laptop that that they sold because, you know, the lovely Kimberly needed a new laptop anyway. And so I picked like the most expensive Dell Ultrabook that you can get. It was like a $5,000 Ultrabook. And they sent it to us to evaluate and keep. Yeah, you just keep it. Keep it, Thor. It's all good. What's $5,000 between friends, you know? You need any beer money? You know? I'm like, oh my goodness. So we kept the laptop, right? But the holiday special laptop, we said, okay, well, if they're serious about it, let's get serious about this. We started looking. The holiday special laptop this year has a touchscreen. The ROG unit wouldn't have had a touchscreen. It has everything that the ROG unit has. It has the backlit keyboard. We managed to keep the DVD drive for you this year, which is getting so much harder to do in high-end laptops because nobody uses DVDs anymore. Next year, I can't guarantee next year's model will have a DVD drive at all. We'll have to go external if you want that. The unit has USB 3 ports on the side, which was a big deal. It has a rapid charging capability for the battery, a big deal. 7th generation Core i7 processor, so it's got a super high-end processor. 16 gigs of DDR4 memory. And I know I'm throwing all these specs out really quickly at you guys. It's not on the website or anything yet. It will be for the soft launch in the next week or two here. We got to get the demo units out to customers first, and we have to make sure that if they have any issues with them, we resolve those issues before we go out to the broader base. But one of the biggest deals is Dell agreed to extend us a line of credit sufficient to have these laptops on hand for you so that you can take them home with you when you buy them. So we will have batches of 25 laptops at a time coming in that are getting prepped up to go out the door so that you, the customer, can take it home with you the day you buy it. That is phenomenal. So no 14 business day wait for the laptops. They're going to be ready to rock and roll when you come in to buy them. So that's huge in itself. The laptops have been gaining in popularity over recent years. We were a little concerned that with everything that's happened with the desktop side, that the laptop sales might drop off a little bit this year because a lot of people are going to be really interested in the desktop. The screen, by the way, on the laptop is full HD, and it has just a stupid bright contrast ratio. So when you look at this thing, it's clearly the best screen that we've ever had in a holiday special laptop. Even though it's the same resolution as the ROG screen, I think it's the coating that goes over it to make it the touchscreen, the digitizer and everything gives it that shiny, glossy pop that it does better in natural sunlight than a regular screen would. So overall, and it's also lighter than the ROG. Last year's holiday special laptop, this year's laptop is considerably lighter as well. The holiday special laptop will sell for $1,499. That's $1,499. It is literally a laptop. Like the gentleman that called in earlier, oh yeah, you know, I had you guys put a solid state in my holiday special laptop and it's great. Do you realize how far back you have to go to find a holiday special laptop that doesn't have a solid state in it already? Yeah, like, I don't know, 5-6 years? And that was a hybrid drive then, which is probably why he wasn't like, yeah, it was amazing, because he had the hybrid. He had one that had like an 8-gig solid-state partition that stored all of his most recent stuff. So the holiday special laptop will be coming soon. Watch your email inboxes. Watch SchrockInnovations.com. We'll post about it on Facebook as well when it's released. Amazing deal. We have the first demo unit going out to a customer this week, and when it does go out, we will get her feedback and maybe even get her to come on the show with you. 866-496-8772. Terry, stay on the line. We got to take our next break. When we come back, the holiday special desktop and Terry's call. You decide which is more important. Coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. A convergence of 2 weather systems. One of them, Tropical Storm Philippe, will be making a soggy mess of the Northeast this weekend.
It is expected to move northward along the East Coast, but there's also a developing storm unrelated to the tropical storm. It's going to be the dominant feature, so Philippe will be absorbed into that storm over the next 24 to 36 hours.
Lead forecaster Bob Oravec of the National Weather Service, up to 6 inches of rain's possible from Maryland through New England. All that rain should be over by Halloween on Tuesday, but the celebrating's already underway with the annual Salem witch trials in Massachusetts. Over 250 cops are in place to keep the peace.
What's always taken into consideration was the fact that somebody could...
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and I just fat-fingered the Facebook stream. I meant to click send message, and instead I clicked finish. And so it finished the stream like, hey, the show's over early this week. Woohoo! Whoops. So now I've restarted it. So if you lost it there for a second, you can rejoin it. No one's rejoined it yet, though, so you could be the first. 866-496-8772, Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Terry, let's take your call here. Terry is more important than the holiday special because we have like weeks to talk about the holiday special, but Terry is here right now. So Terry, what can we do for you on Compute This?
Good morning. I was wondering what you felt was the best way to protect your identity and Social Security number, with that Equifax hack.
Yeah, that's a tough one because the answer is not very fun. There's nothing you can do.
Okay.
You can have credit monitoring, I suppose. I guess one way you could look at this, I try to find the positive things in life. Even negative things can have positive outcomes. Like if somebody stole your Social Security number so they could come and work in the United States, would they not be paying into your Social Security? And would that not mean you get a bigger Social Security check when you retire?
Okay. Well,
that's the only positive I can get from it. In the meantime, though, yeah, they're getting boat loans and car loans and whatever else. Honestly, credit monitoring isn't a bad idea. What Terry's talking about is the Experian hack that happened a while back, where basically the company that's trusted to make decisions on whether or not you're credit worthy, who knows everything about you, all of your personal details, all of your addresses, present and former. Everything you would need to get a mortgage, basically, Equifax has, and they lost it all. They got compromised. There were some internal security things that weren't done right on their end, and then there was just a new vulnerability that got used, and that was the end of it. So basically, to protect yourself, what you can do is you can get some credit monitoring. Identity theft protection isn't a bad idea, but be real careful when you buy that stuff because everyone's like, we'll protect your identity, and you're guaranteed not to have trouble, and LifeLock had something like that going for a while, and then they got sued because they realized that LifeLock doesn't actually prevent identity theft. It just mitigates the consequences of it. So LifeLock does not protect you from identity theft. It's like I don't know. It's like you can't get inoculated from identity theft, but once you get sick, you can go to the doctor for treatment. And that's what LifeLock was doing. It was letting you know you needed treatment. That they kind of represented themselves as being some kind of protection racket, basically, and it's not the case. You cannot protect yourself against upcoming identity theft. You just have to experience it and then deal with it. So unfortunately, there's not really much you can do.
Okay, I just wanted your input on that. Thank you.
Hey, no sweat, Terry. Sorry to be such a downer.
Okay.
All right, our Facebook viewers are streaming back in. Sorry about that, guys. If I lost you earlier, I meant to click. They put a big red finish button right underneath where you type comments back to people who are asking questions, and so you can just hit enter to send the comment. But I decided to click the big red button instead, and the big red button says finish. And after I clicked it, there was like that feeling like as your finger is descending and you click. Oh. So now there's going to be 2 videos on Facebook for Compute This week. It's going to be fun. 866-496-8772. We spent the last segment talking a little bit about the Holiday Special laptop. The Holiday Special laptop, a lot of new things this year. Much quicker availability. You can take one home the day you buy it in many cases. Of course, if we sell 25 in a single day, then we have to wait a few days to get the next batch of 25 in. So, while supplies last, asterisk, asterisk, a little cross symbol, whatever else. And then during the break, I think it was the Wonder Bible that threw me off. We saw a commercial for this amazing piece of technology called the Wonder Bible. And it was a Bible it was a little box. It looked like a transistor radio that read you the Bible. And then it came with 10 free. If you bought it today, you got not 1 but 2 Wonder Bibles, and then you also got 10 free meditation tracks of audio that would play through the Wonder Bible speaker. And we were like, whoa, the Wonder Bible. And then I clicked the finish button. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm getting a Wonder Bible. It's Sunday. I'm going. All right. So anyway, back at it again. The Holiday Special desktop this year. The desktop. I'm trying to find a way to describe it that doesn't put down last year's model. Because last year's model was an amazing piece of technology. And if you have last year's Holiday Special, you should not be sad that you have it. It's an amazing piece of tech. This year's Holiday Special, however, the desktop model, in every way, shape, and form, is light years ahead of last year's. The new Ryzen processor inside the Holiday Special this year is orders of magnitude faster than the processor that was in last year's Holiday Special. Even though it has fewer cores, like last year's Holiday Special had 10 cores. This year's Ryzen chip only has 4. But those 4 cores are so ridiculously faster than the other 10 that the chip is faster overall. It's an amazing piece of architecture. This is the kind of thing, this caught Intel completely flat-footed because AMD is always chasing Intel. They're always just a little bit slower and just a little bit hotter. And people in IT are like, yeah, I'd rather have the Intel even if it costs me twice as much. But now with the Ryzen chips, AMD's chips are just a little bit cooler and a little bit faster, and they're like half the price. IT guys are saying, well, for the first time, maybe we should look at this AMD stuff. And Intel is freaking out. They introduced their all new, because I told you the laptop has the 7th gen. Well, Intel just released their 8th gen processors. There's literally no difference. The 8th generation processors, they eked out a little bit more clock speed. Literally just you wouldn't notice it. I mean, it's no faster. It's no more efficient. It's the same architecture. They just changed the label to 8th gen. Go. So this year's Holiday Special has the new Ryzen processor in it. This year's Holiday Special has the new DDR4 memory in it, just like the laptop does. The DDR4 memory last year's was DDR3. DDR4 is faster. You don't need to know the tech stuff. It's just better. It's a lot better. Then also, this year's Holiday Special comes with its own dedicated graphics card. Remember how last year's Holiday Special had 10 cores? 4 of those 10 cores are dedicated toward video processing. The Ryzen chip doesn't have that. The Ryzen chip is just a computational unit, so we had to add a graphics card. So you have a separate graphics card this year, which is modular in its design because you can replace it if it goes bad or if you decide you want a better one or whatever. If the technology changes, you can replace it, and that's great. This year's hard drive is going to be a solid-state 500-gigabyte hard drive. Solid-state hard drives are becoming more and more common. So much so that they're in shortage right now, actually. It's getting harder to get the solid-state hard drives because the chips are in shortage. So many people are upgrading to solid states. Not to mention that the memory from the solid states is also used in other technology items as well. Continuing forward here, the monitor this year. Every year we talk about a monitor. It's going to have built-in speakers, and they're good enough, whatever. But this year's monitor is 2K. This is going to be the highest resolution monitor we have ever sold at Schrock Innovations. The highest ever. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. This is the kind of monitor that geeky guys geek out over. I talked about how proud I was about the guys at Schrock Interactive building the Safe Upgrade program and doing such a good job with it. Adam was the guy that did the majority of the work on that, and Adam just got himself a brand new Ryzen computer for his workstation, and not one but two of the holiday special monitors, the 2K monitors. And yeah, he's geeking out a little bit. He's chilling out behind his beautiful, crisp monitors. The text is beautiful, and he's like, some customers are going to plug these in, and they're going to want to make the text bigger because it makes everything a little smaller because it's such high resolution. So he's like, be ready for that one. Be ready for that question. I'm like, okay, Adam, I'll be ready for it. So, of course, it's going to come with a wireless keyboard and mouse this year, just like it does every year. Tons of USB ports on the back, as we always do. USB ports on the front as well. All around, guys, this year's holiday special desktop is, like I said, it's just a quantum leap forward in technology. I'm having trouble describing it to you because it's so... You're just going to have to see it. You're just going to have to experience how much faster it is. I would say, if I had to put numbers on it, this is twice as fast as last year's holiday special overall. 2 times faster. Like, bam, fast. Now, the holiday special desktop, we order the parts from various sources. To get the pricing down to $14.99 on the desktop, we actually have to bulk order parts together. So we do them in batches of 25. We contract for a certain number of parts, which hopefully we don't run out early this year because it's kind of a guessing game. We know we only sell 150 units, but we split that between laptops and desktops. And what's been happening in previous years is the laptops, first it was 50-50, then it was 60-40, then it was 70-30. People want the laptops. This year, a lot of people may decide it's time to get that new desktop they've been talking about doing for a while. So we don't know how it's going to split out. But basically, there is a 14 business day or so wait. It can go a little bit longer just depending on when in the cycle you buy the holiday special desktop, but they're all guaranteed before Christmas. So you'll be hearing more about that coming up in the upcoming weeks. You're going to see it on the website at SchrockInnovations.com as well as on Facebook.com/SchrockInnovations. If you haven't gone to Facebook.com/SchrockInnovations, if you use Facebook, go there and click like. That way when we go live for the shows and stuff, you'll get to see the stuff that happens. Also, I've got some new pictures from the Papillion Service Center that's under construction at 84th and Highway 370. We're going to be moving the Papillion location in December. It is not going out of business. It is moving. That's one of our big worries is people are going to think we went out of business there, but we actually are just moving. The new service center has a few design tweaks. Oh, Kathy's here. Kathy, we talked about you earlier in the program. I don't know if you missed it. Kathy's here. Everybody on Facebook say hi to Kathy and give her a hard time for moving on to another position after being with us for 9 years. Apparently, we bore her. All right, guys. Oh, gosh. We love you, Kathy. We're going to miss you terribly, terribly. Wait till you see. It's going to be hilarious because I'm interviewing on Monday. People are coming out of schedule for a few interviews. And so Kathy's going to get to actually see the people we're interviewing. And she'll be over my shoulder, like shaking her head or nodding her head, or it's gonna be fun. All right, 866-496-8772. All right, so one of the things we're doing with our new Papillion location is we are introducing mobile device repair to Schrock Innovations. We've talked about this on the Aftershock shows a little bit. Haven't brought it into a regular broadcast yet. But we are going to be fixing phone screens as well as tablet screens at Schrock Innovations. Not just yet. We're going to time that with the launch of the Papillion Service Center. We're going to have a big event where we fix phones at a discount or screens. So if you have a broken phone or a tablet with a cracked screen or something, just hang on to it for another few weeks if you can, because if you can, you're going to save a whole lot of money on the repair. So we're going to take our final break of the program. When we come back, though, the iPhone X was released this week. Now, there's some rumors that Apple had to drop the quality on the face scanner in it to make production, to make enough for production. So how bad was the quality cut? And what exactly is the face scanner? How does that thing work? And, if you drop your iPhone X in a forest and it hits a rock, and the screen cracks, how much does it cost to fix? Well, why are you laughing? What did you think I was going to say? All right, we're going to talk about all that and more coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive.
Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of the program today. 866-496-8772 is the number to call with questions, comments to get yourself in that drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. All right, so the new Papillion Service Center at 84th and Highway 370 is going to introduce a new era at Schrock Innovations. Up this point, Schrock has never really done phone repairs or tablet repairs. We get about five a day per service center, people calling or coming in asking if we do that work. And we've been referring them to other places up to this point. So why change now? What's going on? Well, here's the deal. The world's changing, guys. You know, laptops are great, desktops are great. The world is changing, and the devices are getting smaller. They're getting harder to repair. They are getting more mobile. And Schrock Innovations needs to innovate and do things differently. Now, the thing is, I'm a firm believer of being good at what you do and not trying to do everything. Because if you try to do everything, eventually you'll be bad at everything. You'll do it all, but you won't do it well. So we're good at computer repair. We've got great systems for that. We're good at website design. We've got great systems for that. Data recovery, we're the best in town and the cheapest in the Midwest. So we've got that system down. We have clearly definable benefits that we can give our customers and say, come here and work with us for these great benefits. When it comes to phone repair, I really wasn't convinced that we would be able to do anything significantly different than the guy in the kiosk at the mall. You know, it's like we can fix the phone. Here you go. But how is Schrock going to? How can we improve this? So what had to happen for me to figure this out was, I got the Galaxy S7, the one with the little curvy edge, and outside of its case, it is a sexy beast. I mean, this is a nice looking phone. It's glass on the back, glass on the front. Yeah, and when you drop it, whack, $300 screen. When you drop the back, whack, $150 back. So after dropping it twice in like a month, this is called a case. And I took my incredibly sexy phone and stuck it in this really, really ugly blanket case. so that now I can drop it and smack it and beat it around and not have to worry about it. Well, my phone went to get repaired, and I took it to a repair shop. They put 5 different screens on it before they figured out what was wrong with it. What I've realized since then is when you take your phone in to get repaired, number one, there are 2 different types of screens they can replace on your phone. They can give you the select part, which is basically like the generic part, or the prime part, which is like the OEM part, the one like what Apple would use. Now, the prime part is significantly more expensive. So basically a screen for an iPhone 7, we just did one in the shop for my wife. The screen for the iPhone 7 for the regular part was about $80 for the select part. The prime part was $160. It was almost double the price. But the defect rate, my wife had her screen replaced 1 year ago at a cell phone repair shop in town. We dropped it when we were at Disney. A phone screen cracked, got it fixed. They used the select part, which has a defect rate of like 2 in 10 go bad in the first year. Hers is going bad. Do we really want to take it back to the place that put a screen that has a high defect rate in it? And it's not this place that did this for us didn't do a bad job. That's the industry, guys. That's how every place in town does it. That's the way the world works. And I'm looking at my guys and saying, guys, wouldn't it make sense to give the customer the choice? And I know 9 in 10 customers are going to take an 80% chance of having something that works great, that saves them half the money. But those 2 in 10 that don't want to go without their phone again for another day or so to get another phone screen replaced, like me, I was without my phone for a total of 4 days over the course of 2 months as they had replaced screen after screen after screen. And then they realized the little metal earpiece was bent, and they bent it when they took the screen out. And I get it. People make mistakes. My guys make mistakes too. Okay, I was cool with it. I rolled with it. Mr. Schrock, we're super sorry. We're going to give you a full refund on that. The refund never came. It still hasn't come. They've still told me they're going to give it to me, and it never came. Again, they had costs. They put a lot of time and money into getting it fixed right. It is working fine and right now. So I got what I paid for. Yeah, I had a little bit of heartache with it, but that's the way the world works. I got what I paid for. I don't want my money back. Now, here's the thing. If you had a choice, and I said, hey, guess what? The part's going to cost you $89.99, so $90, and it has a 2 in 10 chance of going bad. Or for $150, I can get you the prime part, like the part that Apple would use in a phone. You at least have the choice then, right? And then when the part comes in and goes on the phone, when you go to put the device back together, the only consumable that phone repairers use are tape. Double-sided adhesive sticky tape is in every phone. And it's like $12 a roll for 12 feet. It's about $1 a foot. So when you're doing a phone and you got 6 inches on the top edge and 6 on the bottom edge and 3 here and 3 here, well, my golly, that's like $1 in tape. And if you repair, 2 phones an hour all day long, that's $16 in tape a day over a 1 week period. That's a lot of tape. What if I could use half as much tape and just use like an inch and 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 an inch? Now I'm using 6 inches instead of a foot. I've just cut my expenses in half. Except when you flex the phone, which my phone is not a bendy phone. When you have the phone in your hand, the screen separates a little bit, like my daughter's iPad. And then we had to replace that twice. So all in all, Schrock's got something that we can do better now. We can do better. We can give you more choices. We can give you options. So we went ahead and we bought a ton of tools. We have the best tools around now. We've hired guys that have solid experience in phone stuff to train up the Schrock guys. And my Schrock guys are training these phone guys up on computer repairs. So at the end, we're going to have a team of people that know how to do both. That's the goal. One of the things that's kind of funny, the iPhone X screen, they cut the quality on the dot projector. So in the screen, there's a camera in there, right? Well, it unlocks with your face. It's got an infrared camera and a regular camera and then a dot projector. What the dot projector does is it projects infrared dots at your face, creating a grid on your face that then the infrared camera can read that grid to get the pattern of your face and unlock the phone, okay? This is also the technology that's used in the Kinect. That Xbox thing, the thing that looks like a book on a shelf? They took that thing, that giant Kinecty thing, and shrunk it down to something that's like 2 centimeters across and 4 or 5 millimeters deep. but it still wasn't good enough. They had the level of perfection that Apple expected out of this device was so high that they could build it. It could be built by humans somewhere, but not in quantities needed in time. So they had to drop the quality of it a little bit. You're not going to notice the difference in quality, but when you hear them dropping quality, you get all up in arms about it. But then when you realize the technological accomplishment that they did to get that up and running, holy cow. It is amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it. Now, the other thing, though, is if you're going to get the iPhone X and you happen to drop your phone and crack the screen and you bring it into Schrock because you need that screen replaced, how much will that screen cost you? Okay. If you have Apple Care, it's like $99, right? By the way, the iPhone X, the back of the phone is glass. It is not covered by the screen warranty. So your deductible is higher for if you break the back of the phone than if you break the front. Little things you don't know about Apple Care. If you don't have Apple Care, the screen itself, this is the cost. This is what we would pay for the screen, is $279. And if you don't have, like the back of the phone cracks, $550. Yeah, it's incredibly expensive. All right. Yes. Yeah, Robert. The New Papillion Service Center on Facebook, he's asking. It's located right across on 84th and 370 next door to his doctor. So that's awesome. That's convenient. So you go to your doctor, you can take your computer to the doctor, you both get your checkups. You know, everything works great. Yeah, everything's really neat. So the new service center, I got some pictures in my phone. I'll see if I can get those posted up on Facebook. You can take a look at it. It's all drywall-y right now, but, no paint or anything yet. But it's coming together. All right, today's winner, $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate is Ed. Congratulations, Ed. For this week and next week, Kathy in the Lincoln Service Center will send you your gift certificate. You may want to keep that one because it's like the end of an era, Ed. You know what I mean? You know, it could be meaningful, or at least keep a copy of it when you use it. All right. Stay tuned for the After Schrock Show coming up right after here on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. I'll be up early on the Omaha Morning Blend tomorrow morning at 9:15. So you can tune in KMTV Channel 3. We will also get that up on Facebook for you as well. Thanks for joining the show today, guys. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you again next week for another exciting edition of Compute This.
Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB Omaha, an iHeart radio station. On demand at KFAB.com.
Washington's waiting for an arrest. I'm Pam Puso, Fox News. One could be coming tomorrow as part of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into alleged Russian collusion in our election. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Among the potential targets, former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort.
Another target of Mueller's investigation has been President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. In particular, investigators were reportedly trying to determine if
Schrock, welcome in. If you have questions, now is the time you can post them to Facebook. Just post your question here, and then we will go ahead and do our best to get it answered for you as quickly as possible. Didn't have a lot of calls today. I tried to start taking calls earlier in the show because we had them. I wouldn't want to leave people hanging on hold the whole time. And then there were no more calls after that. So either like what I was saying was like super duper exciting, or people just didn't have questions. All right. Kevin says, what is a safe site online to get CCleaner? All right, so Kevin, do you have Secure Updater? If you have Secure Updater, you can get it there. You can right-click on your Secure Updater icon down in the lower right-hand corner and select the check for updates now. Select software to upgrade securely. And then it'll give you the checkbox of all the software, and CCleaner's in there. You can put a check next to it, click apply and update, and it will go ahead and do it for you. Otherwise, CCleaner can be safely downloaded from the Piriform website at piriform.com. PIRIFORM.com is the other one. All right. So that's a good one. Yeah, CCleaner will get your stuff cleaned up pretty quickly there. So that's good stuff. Piriform also has other software like Specky, which tells you the hardware specs of your computer. It also has, they have a defragmentation utility called Defraggler that works pretty good. They also have a file undelete program, which is it's not industry grade, but for home users, if you accidentally delete a file, you can usually get it back pretty quickly. All right, so what do we have to talk about that we couldn't talk about during the show because it was too technical or too boring or just ran out of time? Let me make sure I got to everything. Samsung is patenting a smartphone concept that's foldable, which we were discussing it here in the breaks. You know, like if you have a foldable phone, you take your phone and you fold it in half. Do you get a crease in the middle, kind of like a dollar bill eventually in the foldable screen? I don't know. But apparently the Samsung phone, the problem they have with foldable devices is circuit boards can't fold. So they're working on prototype circuit boards that can fold. Lithium-ion batteries can't fold. So Samsung's solving this by separating the two components into the top and the bottom half of the phone, and the phone would go like click apart and then fold over, which is kind of cheating. And then when you fold it back out, you fold it out and click back together, and now you have your phone again. I don't know. That's a lot like a complex flip phone. I don't think that's really, I don't think that's cutting the mustard, not in my opinion. I wouldn't buy it for sure. Oh yeah, this article here, we posted this on Facebook, so it's appropriate that we handle it during the aftershock. After the Windows 10 upgrade, do these 7 things immediately. And one of those 7 things was to turn on Bitdefender and to turn on Windows Defender. If you have Secure Updater, you don't need Windows Defender. Windows Defender is far inferior to, if you have Semantic Endpoint. If you have Semantic Endpoint, you don't need Defender. Defender is inferior to Endpoint all day, every day. Don't worry about it. So don't do that one. The other thing is encrypting your drive. They said was number 3, turn on BitLocker drive encryption. This is the only thing that BitLocker helps you with is if your computer's hard drive is stolen, right? If it's stolen and you don't have the encryption key, if somebody doesn't have the decryption key, they can't look at your stuff. From a computer repair perspective, this is a nightmare. Because if every average person turns on their BitLocker drive encryption, I would say 1 in 5 of our customers forgets their login password. Now you're going to remember a 25-digit encryption key. And if you forget that key and your hard drive goes bad or you have any problem with the computer ever, we cannot recover your data without that decryption key. We can, but it's stupid expensive, thousands of dollars expensive. So yeah, make sure if you're going to use BitLocker, you keep that key somewhere safe, not on the computer, but somewhere else that you can actually print it out, put it with your will, because it's that important if you lose it. So I would not encourage the average person to turn on BitLocker drive encryption unless there's stuff on your hard drive that you're really concerned about somebody physically stealing your computer and taking it home with them. Then that would be a situation where you'd want to have BitLocker put on there. Let's see, what else do we got here? Scary tech. This stuff wasn't so scary. Like I thumbed through it during the break, and like drones are scary. Ooh, government's scared of drones. We're scared of drones. Robots are scary. Yeah, ransomware is scary. Yay! WannaCry is scary. Stealing your identity from your smartphone is scary. Being homeless is scary. Okay. So anyway, it wasn't very good, so we didn't cover it during the show. I'm not even going to post it on Facebook because it's that kind of boring. Let's see. What else do we got? Bitcoin is rocketing this week. Bitcoin had briefly touched $6,000 a coin this week, which is up. Oh, my gosh. It's up a stupid amount. Like if I go to, let's see here. Well, let me just bring up my phone. That'll be easier. Isn't that sad now? It's just easier to bring stuff up on your phone than it is to go to a website. I can just touch the app. Bitcoin right now, as of the moment of this broadcast, is at 57.70, which is, come on now, Bitcoin is up for the month. That means Bitcoin is up $1,500 this month, which means if you bought 10 Bitcoins a month ago, you just made $15,000 this month. If you bought 10 Bitcoins a year ago, all right, Bitcoin right now is at $5,769. 1 year ago, Bitcoin was at $200 and something. So if you bought 10 Bitcoins a year ago, you made just a ridiculous, it was about $700, 600 something. So Bitcoin was $5,050 a year ago. Now it's $5,750. Okay, if I could read a chart, that would be helpful. Good thing this is the aftershock because I sound like an idiot. So Bitcoin is up $5,061 a coin in the last year. Okay, that's the end math. $5,061, which means if you bought 10 Bitcoins, yeah, you made a lot of money. You're up 50 grand. So yeah, crypto portfolios are just absolutely insane right now. Is it too late to buy into Bitcoin? Well, it's getting expensive now. $5,000 a coin is pretty pricey. But on the other hand, there's some people who think it could go to 10,000 pretty easily. Wall Street's getting interested in it now, so it's getting to be pretty crazy. All right, last call for questions, guys. Not a whole lot of questions this week. I got 26 people watching, but nobody's got questions. And I don't really have any super serious new tech stuff. Let's see. This week we fixed a boot looping iPad in the shop that was one of mine that was broken, basically, that I just never got around to fixing. So the guys went ahead and got that unlocked. We did data recovery from an Android and an iPhone last week. We replaced a screen in a Samsung or an iPhone 7 Plus. That was fun. Not as hard as you think it would be, but it was interesting. The other thing is we got a new piece of technology. Like I mentioned that we're buying the best tools for our phone repair operation so that we can have a competitive advantage over people who don't have these tools. Right now, if you have an iPhone and you drain the battery all the way to zero, like to the no charge left in the battery, the battery won't charge because it has to have a certain base charge to begin charging. So it won't charge when you plug it in, and the phone obviously won't turn on because the battery is dead. You can't replace the battery because it's inside the phone. What do? Right now, if you took this into one of the repair places in town, they would open up the device, take a battery off the shelf that was charged, they knew was charged. They would put it in the phone, and they would see if the phone powered on. And if the phone powered on with this battery, they would test the charger. And if the charger charged the battery, they would say, your battery is bad. And here's a new battery. Here's the cost of the battery plus the labor. And there you go. You're out in and out. And you're thinking, hey, they fixed my phone. That's great. But there's nothing actually wrong with your battery. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that blows my mind. I knew when we got into it, we'd find some competitive advantages. But the more I learn about how the industry works on the inside, the more I'm like, this is shady. So the battery that came out of that broken iPhone 7 is a perfectly functional battery. Just the iPhone circuitry won't charge it. So we bought a tool. It's a circuit board that you plug into a charger, and it's got hookups for all the different Apple devices on it, except for the 8 and the X, of course, because it just came out. But we can take that device and take the battery out of your phone that's completely dead and hook it up to that board, and it force charges the battery. It has its own charging circuitry that's not Apple, so it doesn't need the base charge to charge the battery. And it can resurrect that battery all the way back up to a full charge. We take your battery off the charger, put it back in your phone. Your phone now works great. You don't have to buy the battery. You don't have to buy the hardware, which means we'll be able to fix the device for about half the cost as what any other place in town will be. So it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. So the guys are really doing a bang-up job of getting us great competitive advantages. Right now, we're working on adapting our systems. All the stupid little things, like when you bring your computer into Schrock, there's a sticker that we put on the back. Nobody really cares if you put a sticker on the back of their computer. You know what I mean? But that way we can tag it. We have a number. We can reference all the work we've ever done to that computer. People care if you put a sticker on their $1,000 smartphone. They care. We can't do that. So we're putting a piece of painter's tape on the phone and putting the sticker on that. So then we have a number for that phone. The problem is, you peel it off when you're done, and now we don't even know if that phone comes back in. We have no way of knowing, did we work on this phone before or not? You can record serial numbers and stuff like that, which we're going to do, but it's a whole nother type of system. So we have to adjust our internal systems to work with that as well. All righty. Have you heard anything new about Windows Update? Well, nothing really new. The Fall Creators Update came out as expected on the 17th. It was available that afternoon. Safe Upgrade released it. Our servers promptly crashed for an unrelated reason, which was joyful. We got that fixed, and Safe Upgrade was deploying. And over the weekend, that initial weekend, just about everybody that needed one got it done. That's about all the new stuff I've had. Is there anything more specific, Peggy, that you were asking about? Kevin writes, had a screen turn everything to grayscale after the new Windows update. I found the fix and everything's good now. Well, that's interesting. So everything went grayscale on you. Very 1990s Mac. Yeah, I'm glad you got it all sorted out, Kevin. Buster's writing here. I have an old iPhone 4 that needs a firmware download to fix. How much dollars to fix that? All right, a firmware download, it depends on whether or not the iPhone can run the current firmware. If you can run the current firmware, you can actually do that yourself at home with iTunes. If you can't run the current firmware, that becomes a data recovery technically. This is part of the area that we're trying to bridge. So it needs a firmware update to operate, but you can't get the phone to power on to do the firmware update. So we can put it in the lab because I restore firmware to phones all the time in order to recover data from them. Well, but you don't want me to recover the data. You just want the phone to work. So it's a repair, not a data recovery. So we haven't really established all the pricing on everything yet. That's why we're not telling you to bring your phones in today. But what we are going to be doing is when we launch the Papillion Service Center, we are going to keep it to that Papillion shop alone. Is we are going to have like a free phone repair day. And it won't be free, completely free. It'll be labor cost, or parts cost, but all the labor will be free. And you can bring your devices in and we'll replace the screens. And we're laughing because, for us, this is just reps for our guys, right? We want to bring in all of our people and bring them all to Papillion. That's why we don't want to spread it out to all the service centers. We want to have everybody in one place so they can all learn from each other. And we want to get our reps up. We've got some guys we've hired that are really, really good with phones. And I want to get my Schrock guys completely trained up. They need repetitions under proper supervision to do that. So it's kind of like the dental college, where you go in to get your teeth fixed. You pay less, but it's students that are doing the work. Under the guidance of real dentists, mind you, yes. Except, we won't be drilling into your phone. So basically watch for that. And when the time comes to do that, we could probably take a look at doing that one for you at next to nothing. So sit tight with that iPhone 4. Hang on to it. All right, Peggy, my computer did not change that I can see. Okay, so basically after you get the update, Peggy, if you go down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen where your start menu is and you right-click on the start menu, you can left-click on System. And it's going to open the System window for the properties for the computer, and you'll see Windows version. The version before the Fall Creators Update was 1703, and the version after is 1709. So if you have 1709, you're good to go. If you have 1703, it didn't install, and we should try again. Okay, Gary wrote a comment during the first part of the Facebook, which is gone. The safe update works great. Development team did great work. I like the progress report. Yeah. Both of my computers were done in 2 different days, 2 hours, and finished. Well, thank you for the kind words, Gary. Yeah, I did see you post that earlier in the show. I accidentally clicked the finish button and screwed up and closed the broadcast out. So then I had to go back and create a second one. So there's going to be 2 broadcasts for this week's show. Not that that's complicated or annoying or anything. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, we like that. I wanted to make sure we knew it was going to be a long update and it had to keep people appraised. Adam said, well, why don't we just do a spinny circle? And I'm like, no. For this, we need a progress bar because the spinny circle, a lot of customers, this is going to take hours. So a lot of customers are going to think that the spinny circle is just locked up because I've seen that happen before. But if we have a progress bar that continues to go longer and continues to increase in percentage, people will let it run. And some people had to let it run for, like you said, hours to get the download. So thank you for the kind words, Gary. Kudos to you and the guys. Use the safe upgrade and creators installed perfectly. Thanks, Myrna. We appreciate it as well. All right. Last call for questions, guys. What was the name of that Bible? I got to go get me one of those. The Wonder Bible? Yeah, I've got to go get me a Wonder Bible. They'll give me 2. Maybe I'll give one away at the grand opening in Papillion. You could win a Wonder Bible. It looked like the junkiest piece of garbage you've ever. It was like, people actually buy this? They bought commercials for that. It looked like a transistor radio that would read you the Bible. Do you realize there's apps for that? Like you can get an app on your iPad or your Schrock modular tablet, your phone, that will read the Bible to you. You don't have to have the Wonder Bible with 10 free meditation tracks. But that's the thing. Not everybody knows that. That's part of the thing that annoys me. Like the stuff with the phone repair. I didn't know all this stuff before I experienced it, and that was me. And I'm not trying to sound conceited when I say that, but I tend to be a little more informed about these things than the average person. So when I get taken advantage of like that, it makes me a little upset. And so then I have to turn around and say, why is this happening? And I'm looking at, sure, most customers are not going to pay double the price for the screen for a, basically 100% guarantee that the screen's not going to fail. I'll take an 80% chance at half the price, right? Most people will take that. So I understand why nobody gets the option. But should you not give your customers the choice? That way, when they come back in with their phone screen not working and they're all mad at you because you did junk work, you can say, well, you did take the select part. Do you want to take the prime part this time and pay the difference, or do you want me to try another select part, take another 80% chance? You know, at least you can show people what's going on with it. But boy, yeah. So I don't know. Not everybody knows about the latest tech. So some people, I'm sure, are buying the Wonder Bible and are completely happy with it, even though they can get the same thing for free from their phone. All right, let's see. Richard, I have a Dell Inspiron 3000 laptop that needs an LCD replacement. Is there a standard fee or a standard time estimate for labor? Anytime we have to tear apart a laptop, we tell the guys we always charge 2 hours of labor anytime we have to tear it apart. And the reason we do that is tearing down laptops. A lot of times laptops have tabs that are supposed to be one-time release tabs. They go together, and once they're together forever. It's like what marriage used to be, you know? And now, sorry, that just kind of fell out of my mouth. And now, when you take it apart, if we take it apart really carefully, we might only break like half the tabs on these particular models that have this, but sometimes we have to buy a whole new bezel to go over it instead. So we try to pad our labor cost a little bit by saying it's going to be 2 hours of labor. Now, of course, if you're a new customer, you use the new customer coupon, it takes 1 hour of labor off. So the standard labor rate would be $110 then. Screen costs can vary. We're going to charge you more for the screen in the shop than if you bought it yourself on Amazon. However, we're also going to get the right screen the first time. I can't tell you how many times customers trying to save a little bit of money, which I totally understand, will buy the part themselves and bring the part into us. We have no problem with that. But they bought the wrong part. And we take everything apart. We're like, oh, you have the wrong part. Then we have to put it all back together. Then they go back and get the right part. They bring it in. We take it all apart again. Oh, yeah, now we put the right part in. We put it all back together. So it's a lot of work. So I would say at least an hour of labor at $110 plus the cost of the part, unless you were going to supply the part. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up the show today, guys? This is your chance to do it. Next week, hopefully, Mark will be back with us. Mark was out for surgery again this week, so keep him in your prayers, if you will, please. I don't want to go into all the details of what's going on because, he didn't give me permission to do it, and he was not here for the show today. So he had surgery last week, and I haven't heard anything from him since. So hopefully everything is going well in his recovery there. So if you're doing your prayers tonight, if you could include Mark in those, I'd appreciate it. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Thanks for sticking around for the Aftershock. We appreciate it. We'll be back here again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This. This is when I click the big red finish button. The one that I'm supposed to click to end